Welcome to the Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm a little bitter at the moment.
Why?
I had some
It's
shows.
our 100th episode, and you're going to be bitter about it?
Not about it. I'm very happy about it. I was at some shows at Foxwoods Casino. It's in Connecticut, and
Okay.
at the casino, they have a lot of amenities. They have a lot of things for a non-gambler like me to do, right? So there was an arcade. The arcade was pretty good. It was like there's two arcades, and they only tell you about one of them, and the other one is way better. That I was like, I was almost more upset about that. They tell you about the first arcade, which is like got bubble hockey in it, which was amazing. So
bubble hockey's great.
Even though I lost pretty badly, it was still very fun to play. You know, there's just so much hope when you play bubble hockey, because even if you have no skill, you're like, wow, I almost hit the goal just then from like twisting my wrists. Anyway, so then they had the Tekken Tag, which was amazing. But they also had go-karts, and they had the serious go-karts for kids that are going to try to be Formula One racers one day. So the go-karts were not only fast, but they were like professionally done.
These were professional go-karters is what this is.
Okay, so you joke about, God damn it. What is this?
For those of you listening.
Fucking fuck. It makes me so mad, and it's just as we're recording too.
Yeah,
it's
he's
not.
got a
it
fly
doesn't.
in his face. For if you're just listening to the pod, and when I say just listening, we're hoping that this will be our a full video episode. We've got new cameras, but right now Josh is chasing a fly.
Whatever,
and is very angry about it.
Okay,
we told you nothing would change. We told you. We may be 100 episodes in. It's not a goddamn thing changing.
So what ends up happening is we get there, and Vince and I go racing, right? And it's too serious when we walk in. When we walk in, it's like there's an energy in there that's like dad. You know that like sports dad, like coach dad, like almost stage dad, but for sports.
Yeah, too
energy.
intense. Too intense. Kind
so
of.
It's too intense when we walk in. So immediately
at go-karts?
At go-karts. But to be fair, these go-karts were dope. Like
still though. What are you gonna turn harder? Like what are you gonna say?
You're gonna say turn harder. All right.
Rubbing is racing, Daniel. Like what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And so we get there. Not only do they have suits that you can wear, you can just get one of the suits that's made for like a driver.
You mean like a jumpsuit, not a 3-piece.
No, not a 3-piece, but the jumpsuit is like legit. Like
that would be great if they had formal go-kart.
Formal go-kart racing, yeah.
Please put on your racing tuxedos.
So basically we go in there. And
was that an extra charge to get the uniform?
I don't think so. No, I think they were just letting you have it if you wanted it. If you knew what your fit was, they were just letting you put it on. But the helmets were legit. The helmets, I was like, are we in trouble?
Is my head in that much danger?
I've never worn a helmet like that. The helmet made it so that my actual face was in place. Like it wasn't just a helmet. It was like a helmet that like fitted with foam pushing into your cheeks, and like it just kept everything perfectly placed. So they have a head sock for you to put on too. So you put on a head sock, which at first I thought was a sanitary thing, and apparently that's also what racers do. And
racers wear I think that's a lot for, safety, and also I think potentially if like fires. I think if you crash
I guess if there's a fire, but it was actually too safe that I got nervous, because I was like, why is there a flame retardant suit, a helmet that looks like it could take a bullet, and then just me with a head sock on? Like, is this bad?
Because that'd be like if they were doing that before like an amusement park ride, you'd be like, we shouldn't get on this.
Yeah,
they're giving us too much gear. This means you will die on this.
And so we did 2 heats, and in the first heat, you have to remember, this is me remembering how to drive, because I haven't driven since the last time I drove go-karts, which was 4 years ago.
That's a great point. I kind of forgot your inability to drive.
Yeah, so already that's the other thing that made me nervous. I was like, are these fast enough that I could like hurt myself or someone else? Because the last time I went go-karting, you were punching it and this little thing was like barely getting any steam.
Right.
And I watched a heat before we ran and I couldn't believe how fast they were. It was like cars. It was like straight cars.
He means the Pixar movie.
Yeah, the cars are talking. So then
he felt like a car. He felt like a cartoon car.
I get in my car, and also the way that they managed it was a little frantic because then they were getting annoyed at us, like for not having been there a million times or something. Because I guess they're just used to the kids that come every weekend. Because there was even we were knocked back 45 minutes because they couldn't get a bunch of cars going, and the dads were so mad. It was wild. It was like I thought there was going to be a fight because the dads were so mad, and one of the dads was like, "My son races for some like because you know how F2 is for like the kids, right?
Right, yeah.
So F1 they're still very young. They're still essentially kids. They're like 21, 22, whatever. But F2 is when they could be like I don't know 17 or something. Right. And so this one guy is like, my son is like a prospect for, I can't remember what team he said, but it was like legit. Like I was actually kidding.
Oh, wow.
I was actually getting nervous. It's like,
now you're like, shit, am I interrupting practice?
yeah.
Am I ruining someone's career right now by just wanting to have some fun?
100%. Because then we start and before we start, one of the dads is like, oh yeah, my son is a mechanic. I guess he's like a junior mechanic for something, and then he's on the team for something else. And they were complaining because they were like, oh, it never runs like this, it's always more professional. And in my head, I'm like, wait, is this supposed to be professional? Like, are we in the way right now?
What's happening?
Then it's finally our turn to race, and Vince and I go up, and the guy's just like staring at us, and he's like, grab a head sock. Like it felt like I was on a racing team that I didn't know about, because the guy was like he had no sense of humor and he was no help at all. Like he was like, do you know what your number is? Do you know what the number? Look at your screen. Do you know what your number is? And then I was like, yeah.
You accidentally got drafted into a team, my dude.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'm car 19. And he was like, all right, well, go to your car. Your race is starting soon. Go to your car. And I was like, oh my God. And so I'm just like running over to the car. I get in, and like nothing on the car feels right. I didn't even know that they had like, not like specs, but they had so many adjustments you could do in the car. And so I just get in and I'm all uncomfortable. And then the guy walking up, I'm like, I've put my seatbelt on, which is like the real strapped in seatbelt, by the way. This isn't just like over the waist. It's like chest, vest across, like zip, like fully pulling your straps in. And then the guy walks up and I was like, he hits the start for my car, but then he's about to walk away. I'm like, hey, is my seatbelt all right? And he's like, yeah, you're fine. And I'm like, is there any way that I could change the pedals? Because it's real close. Like, clearly whoever was in here last was child. Like, is there anything that I could do? And then he pulled it back for me, and then it fit a little bit better. And we take off, and I was both very proud and surprised at myself how well I was controlling it from the start, but I couldn't have been more terrified about how fast it was going. Like, it was... It was so fast, and then I'm making the corners too, and I'm like, wow, I'm driving. Like, I got excited like I was on the actual highway. I was like, wow, I'm driving. This is amazing.
I'm finally a grown up.
Yeah, this is amazing.
I'm a real boy.
And then I'm in my head, I start like competing, right? So in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to pass them. And I'm like getting around. And then I passed two people, and one of them was clearly not happy about it. Like I just
this is his job, and you're making a harder day at his job for him.
I found some space in the turn, and I took it, and I was very happy. I was like, wow, I passed someone go-karting. I don't even drive. Yeah. And and so then maybe like 4 laps later, this guy just perfectly nicks me on the back right wheel and sends me into the wall. And and so there's a reverse
Rubbing
button.
is racing. I told you.
And so I hit the reverse, but then you're supposed to only reverse when it's clear so that you can then turn and everything. And so I keep hitting the reverse, but then cars keep coming. So then I just keep slamming myself back into the wall to avoid the people that are about to hit me. And so I'm just, for maybe like 8 minutes, I'm just slamming myself into the wall. Like, not 8 minutes, because I'm sure the race was only like 6 minutes. But like,
If it was 8 minutes.
But I mean, not 8 minutes. I meant 8 times. Sorry, but like for at least 2 laps, 2 what should have been laps for me was me like slamming myself back into the wall over and over, because I was like, they're gonna hit me. Like I'm getting in the way, you know. And so finally, I reverse, I pull out, and then I race the rest. And luckily, we did 2 heats, because then in my second heat, I was like, man. Okay, outside of that guy like bumping me, I think I have it. Like I think I know how to drive now, and so
I'm gonna go get my license after this. I've done it.
And so then we get in the second batch of cars, and now I feel like a pro, because now I'm like, all right, rude guy, I know exactly what car to go to. I'm just gonna walk past you. I mean, whatever, and sit down. We take off again. This time, I still, only because of the race I just had, I actually think I had like a bad car with like fully.
Oh, it's the car's fault.
No.
It's the car's fault. Definitely.
I just did a race where I
definitely
knew
not
less.
The man who doesn't know how to drive. He already said that, but it's definitely the car.
I'm telling you, man, I just did a race where I knew less. I knew less about the car. I knew less about the turns. Like everything I did the first time, I was doing for the first time. So with this one, knowing where the turns are, knowing the rhythm of when I should turn and everything, I was like, yo, this car is bad. And once you start the race, you can't just stand up. But almost immediately after I take off and I go through the first turn, I'm like, I'm in a bad car. Like, this is horrible. I had no grip at all. So then every turn with any speed, I was just drifting. I was straight up. It would have been cool if I had been doing it on purpose. I was turning. When I tell you that I was turning, and like Jason Bourne in the rain was sliding the entire length of the turn, and then I would just hit the gas again to go straight. So for a little while, I thought I could manage it. And then twice I slammed myself into the wall so hard. And then the second heat we did was with the pro guys. So that's the heat. Like the first one we did was with a lot of like families and kids, and you know what I mean? Like people that were just trying to have fun. The second one was with the guys who showed up with their own suit.
Oh, okay. And
so then at one point I'm driving and I look around and just 3 of them are boxing me in. I'm like, what's happening right now?
It's like, I get it, especially if they're, pro racers or whatever, but like, fucking calm down.
It was wild.
Don't show up with your own suit and then want to show people up at a go-kart track. That's like showing up with a bag of clubs to putt-putt.
I mean, it's like dunking and on a kid. It's like dunking on a little kid.
Exactly. It's like having a caddy carry your putter for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're over at the side, it's like, what do you think? There's a windmill in the way. What do you think I should do?
Hey,
calm down, kids. Calm down. I get you're taking it seriously.
It was horrible.
Don't pick on my friend in his 30s.
No, that second car was bad, man. I'm telling you, because the second car, I was like, I would do the thing that you're supposed to do. I'd hit a little bit of brake and I'd start to turn, and I'm still just sliding like I'm on top of water. and then
Just doing
slam into a wall.
Slow and confused 3 Connecticut drifting. That's what you.
Yeah, man.
I've done that before. I've done the kind of more souped up go-karts, and then I've done the mini drag races. It was at a place in Texas. I was in 7th grade, so I don't remember exactly where it was or what it was, but they had mini drag race cars. And that's all it was. You got in it and they gave you the countdown. And even as small drag race cars that were on a track, they had some giddy up and go.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a point where on the course you go up a little bit and that up is some turns, but then there's a straight where you go down, and the straight where you go down makes the car shake so much that I thought the car was coming apart. I thought it was like a Looney Tune. And so anyway, there was one kid there that is like the future. There was a little kid there where I was like, hey, my man, I need to get his autograph, maybe.
You're my go-kart hero.
That kid was so fast. He clocked a lap that, just to give you an indication, the second fastest lap was 12 seconds longer.
Damn.
So he essentially went 1.5 times faster than the second fastest person.
Did he bring his own cart too, or
no? He
just knows which one's the
yeah.
good
He
one.
just knows what he's doing. He's a future world champion.
That's interesting.
I didn't mean to talk about any of this. It was just on my mind when you asked me.
I did not ask you, but okay.
No. When you were like, why are you salty?
You?
Why are you bitter? Why are you upset?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that I was just confused about, because I'm like, we've been preparing the last few weeks for the celebration of the 100th episode, and we did the mailbag and stuff, and you're just like, I don't know, things are bad. I got beat by some kids in go-kart.
Everybody got their own struggle. I don't know why. When I voice mine, it's like an issue.
It wasn't an issue. I was just surprised that you were in such a sour mood, and then the reasoning made it even better.
So,
how were the gigs though? How were the shows?
The shows were great. Crowds were great. It was a very fun time. I'm trying to figure out how to even describe it. So I've been saving 2 things for this episode for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted to check in with you. Is there anything that's on your mind that you want to chat about or anything?
Not in particular. No, I don't think so. I don't think, I'm in this stretch right now of where I haven't really done anything for the last couple weeks. So, so that will change next month. I'm about to be very busy and on the road next month, but I haven't done a lot. I had some friends come out and see me from Chicago, which was good.
Dope.
And I maybe got a little too after it and had to vomit so much into a sink. Okay. All right. Just maybe that happened, and it's been a long time since I've thrown up. And that may have been the most. That's ever
exactly what we needed. That right there. You've done it. This is the perfect tee up. Thank you for doing that.
Whoa. Okay, I didn't mean to tee him up, but here we go.
Okay, so it's a couple of things, but one thing is a thing I don't think I've ever told you about, where I went to this after party for a comedy festival. I won't say which one in case it comes back. I'd very much like to be invited back, but I went to this comedy festival's after party.
I'm about to talk some shit about it.
No, it's not. It actually wasn't the fault of the festival. It was the fault of the bar.
Gotcha. Okay.
So basically, the after party for this festival. This is also should point out this is before COVID, and
okay.
So there was an open bar for the after party of the festival, because now this is like the last show, last everything, going out with a big hoorah, everybody open bar, right? And one of the things that the bar that they rented out for this event, I guess threw in, because I heard this later, was like, I think 100 or 80 bottles of red wine. And so it's like a lot of red wine that they're throwing in for free on top of the tab to make the bar open, you know? Okay. Which at the time, I think I got it. Fuck yes. Which at the time,
it's just good for a podcast when you're in the middle of a sentence to blow aggressively onto your mic.
We can edit it out.
You make it hard when you do it in between, in the middle of a thought.
You want to reslate? We can reslate.
No, I'm not going to reslate. That would be starting the whole podcast over. Reslating does nothing. We also are doing the cameras now too. So if I cut it to where you go, then it just cuts.
Yeah, but if we reslate, then won't you have a place?
Reslating? No, that's not what reslating does.
Oh, okay. So basically,
the slate is to sync everything. It has nothing to do with the edit.
All right, if you say so. So
I'm the fucking editor.
The thing that ends up happening is that they get all of these red wine bottles, which I'm assuming are the same brand, same everything. I don't know, because I don't drink, and I didn't drink that night. But
you thought they were all red brand wine?
Just red. You know what I mean? You know that red? You know the red wine that just says red on it? That's apparently the staple wine is red. Don't act like you ain't had none of that red.
I've got 80 bottles of Red's red wine.
Yeah, Red's red wine.
What kind of wine? Just red.
Just red.
Yeah, but there's different types. Don't worry about it.
Crazy enough, tastes like a junkyard.
And some of them are clearly white wines too, but they say red.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that might be some white wine with a little blood in it. So they get all of this free red wine on top of the bar tab, right? So for the most part, people are just like pushing the red wine. Like the bartenders are, and they're letting everyone know. It's like, hey, let's let people know about the red wine first, because then that might do a little something for us on the back end with the whole open bar thing. And
smart move.
Basically, I get to the after party pretty early. I'm not like a cool guy who's late, and so I get to the after party. I was there an hour
before they opened.
100%. I helped set up just some of the chairs. So I'm there.
I wasn't fashionably late. I fashionably work there now.
Guy just handed me a glass and I just ran with it, you know. So I get there on time-ish for when it starts. So other people don't start showing up for at least like 40 minutes or whatever. And I think there was, to be fair, a show that was happening at the same time that the party started. So it's not as if everyone's fashionably late. It's literally that they came right there from the last show of the festival.
Right.
And sure enough, maybe 2 hours in. So I got there on time, first hour. Other people started getting there. Then an hour after that, when I tell you everybody, like, not every single person, but just about everybody that I saw with red wine starts throwing up. Like, starts like really gets like really sick almost immediately. And once again,
early in the night, like once they're just having drinks?
Early in the night. So this is early in the night. And it's clearly not their fault, because it's people who aren't that drunk, right? And so people just start running to the bathroom.
Whatever this is, or it's poison.
So the 100 bottles are clearly just like spoiled wine. It's clearly just like wine that's turned, or maybe was about to turn, and then they were like throwing it in, which.
But I don't know how wine turns like that because people age wine for decades.
I think if you leave wine open, that's like not aging it anymore. That's like making it go bad. I feel like however you store it.
To do that with 100 bottles though.
Man, I don't know what to tell you. People just started throwing up red, and I thought it was the end of the world. When I tell you that I thought this was it, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I prayed a little bit. Like, dude, I'm at this party, and all I know is people next to me, people in the bathroom start throwing up full red. Because mind you, I told you that to like color the context of the thing. I didn't know any of that while I was at the party. I just know people were throwing up red, which to me looks like blood.
So you didn't know that.
So I thought, God damn it. So I thought everybody was dying.
Right.
I thought everybody that was throwing up red was like, all right, we're here. This is the zombie movie we've been prepping for. And and then eventually a bunch of people realized that they all got sick, that they only drank the red wine. They were like, stop drinking the red wine. But apparently it's like maybe it's how they stored it. I don't know. Because I also don't know that much about wine, but I know that a lot of people threw up.
I don't know enough either. It could it could have had, they can get laced with salmonella or whatever too if they're bottled improperly or whatever. So I don't know. They could have just been drinking poison.
They could have. Like, I don't know. Does salmonella act that fast? Because that means that basically within an hour they must have been knocking them back. Because then within an hour they were throwing up.
Well, yeah, I don't know. This is a mystery. If you know anything about wine and how it can have this effect, email in joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. Let us know.
Yeah, but it was pretty terrible. And
sounds awful.
Yeah, and
I threw up a lot of.
Reminded me of it with your.
Well, I was going to say it when I threw up a lot. I threw up a lot of red actually, and I was concerned because it came out and it was looking like. I'm like I didn't eat anything with tomatoes in it. It seemed like almost like because I was seeing like these chunks of it and it was all very red and I'm like, what is this? I forgot I'd ate a bunch of watermelon, so it had turned everything in my stomach red, and the chunks I was seeing that I thought were like smashed tomato parts were just watermelon that I was regurgitating.
Okay.
And it took me a sec to put that. I only put it together because a friend of mine said, he's like, the kitchen smelled very watermelon-y as you were vomiting. And I was like, that makes sense because I was concerned. But I was mainly just trying to aim.
I feel you. I forgot I had a bunch of watermelon.
I did forget that I had a bunch of watermelon that day.
Okay.
It was a fun grill that day. Had a bunch of watermelon.
So it also then, not a tight segue, but a slight segue, leads me to one of the stories I've been saving for a long time because it just, to me, is such chaotic energy. It's like as comics, we have to do that thing that people call like reading a room, whether it's for comedy or for context of what's happening or something. And it's so funny
because if anyone after a show wants to kick your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. How quickly you should leave. And it's amazing
all things you got to read
to me that because it's a skill that we've had to build over years, there's just a different energy to it than in other cases. What's the best way to put this? It's like when something becomes second nature to you almost because you have to do it so often that you forget that the rest of the world isn't building that skill. There was a wedding in Louisiana years ago where these two fine people were they're fine. They're
never has the word fine had more judgment in it?
They're
These two fine people.
Yeah, they're a lot. Anyway, they
are these friends of yours or
loosely, yeah. We don't talk that much anymore, but it's
because of what happened in this story, or
no, but no. The story you'll see why. Anyway, so
all right.
They decided to have family cater the wedding because they didn't just, it wasn't just a money saving thing. It was like we've always wanted to have this dish at our wedding type thing, and only grandma can cook it, whatever, right?
It's also totally a money saving thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so
why buy food if you can force your grandma to cook for you?
And so the thing that essentially did them in a sense is that one of the matriarchs of the family that they wanted to cook something special was in the hospital for a little while, and that little while crossed over during the wedding. So then they couldn't do the whole prep, and they were just too sick to do it. Mm-hmm. And so what comes with that is a family member stepping in and being like, just give me the recipe and I'll do it, right? Now, this is essentially one of the things that's being cooked is a pot pie, and it is enough pot pie for like 80 people. So there's like 80 guests at this wedding, and the wedding's...
That's a big pie.
It's a big set of pies. It's a big pie. It's all huge. And...
It'd be great if they tried to do it in one pie. Just one giant comical buffet pie.
Yeah. And so basically...
to feed everyone, I had to increase the recipe 80 times.
I'd increase the recipe 80 times, and also the pan is grandma's bed frame. So...
Yeah. I was going to say we had to cook it in a small pool.
Yeah. So, I mean, the pool is ruined. All right.
Wrecked.
So,
wrecked.
As you enjoy
Absolutely.
this, just know you'll never swim in this thing again.
Yeah. Also, I lost my watch, so it may be in there.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
And so, all you need to know is that the family member that steps in is not the one that you call off the bench. All right, this is someone who could really mess up a PB&J. So like, this is not the type of person.
Aunt Caroline doesn't have taste buds.
Aunt Caroline burned her tongue at 82 and never been the same since. And so what ends up happening is this family member steps in, makes the pot pie, and so what's on the plate for the dinner, for the reception, is the pot pie, and the pot pie is essentially like the main, right?
Right.
So it's like almost like beef stew type pot pie with a lot of roast in it, potatoes, peas, carrots, all the stuff, right? Like a nice thick gravy that binds it, holds it all together, and a crispy.
That's my nickname in high school too, by the way.
What did I just say? That
nice thick gravy. Don't worry about it.
Ugh. So anyway, they're cooking the whole thing, and then they serve, and pot pies on the plate. And then there's also a side of bread, which I just personally found hilarious, because if you get enough pot pie crust, that's just a lot of bread now. And then it was like some spinach, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like everyone got like a little brownie or something that another cousin made or something like that. Yeah. And so they're all eating, and they're doing the speeches, while they're eating, right? So dad gives a speech, mom gives a speech, mom and, in-laws give speeches, like everybody, right? And and then they get the DJ to play that first song. They do the dances you're supposed to do, the dad-daughter dance, the first couple dance, all that stuff like that, right? And then they open up the dance floor to everybody. I don't know. I don't actually know what was wrong. All I know is maybe an hour into dancing, maybe it's the gyrating, maybe it's just the heaviness of the pie, but apparently this thing was cooked wrong and now nobody feels good. Like everybody is sick. Like everybody is sick off this pie. I can only imagine what it's like. That must be what hell is like, to have to dance after eating some thick gravy pie. So now you're just in your own world trying to like groove to it, but you're like, ugh, 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 ugh. And so everybody, they like, I don't even remember.
Cha-cha, real smooth. Oh no. Oh no.
I don't even remember I think it was a Cupid Shuffle where people started to throw up. Like
Jesus Christ.
Like and apparently, because I wasn't at the wedding, and also even if I was invited, you know, and so
what does that mean?
I don't know. I wouldn't have gone. But anyway,
why you hate these people?
It's not hate. It's not hate at all. It really
is
not
hate.
It really isn't hate. It's just they're too much. And
what'd they do to you? Have they poisoned you on a previous occasion?
Probably close. That's actually not that far off. Like, yeah, I can see myself having almost been poisoned by some of them if I hung out and ate with them more. And so Cupid Shuffle's going, people moving, and then just a lot of like grabbing people to like hold yourself up and then just letting loose, right? So this is also happening where a couple people, I think, might be. This is an outdoor wedding.
Yeah,
it's an outdoor wedding.
Because it'd be way funnier if it wasn't.
Sure.
If they're just in a reception hall.
But it's like Family Guy levels of people starting to get sick, and there's a mad dash and then a subsequent fight for the bathrooms because it's an outdoor wedding, there's not enough bathrooms. There isn't a facility. So then there's like the sort of it's almost like a rec center bathroom. Have you ever been to one of those where it's like essentially a brick wall of zigzags and then just an open bathroom, male or female? You know what I'm talking about?
almost like a park shelter kind of bathroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like that, and because it's like that, it's not big. It's like 2 stalls and then a urinal trough.
Now, well, that trough's about to get full.
Yeah.
But like also, they're outside, right? And they're vomiting, but people are running to the bathrooms. Means
something else is happening.
It means something else. They're not just vomiting.
Yeah.
If you need to race, because if you're outside, go throw up in a corner. Just let it go in the grass. Man.
Yeah.
You're already puking on the grass dance floor.
Yeah. Well, so no, the dance floor wasn't grass.
Oh, did they have like a cover on that?
They put a cover.
Okay. But that's just slippery.
Yeah.
Now, if something else is happening, it means there's another bodily function.
Yeah.
Betraying these people. Just putting that out there.
And so basically, as that's happening, it's like utter chaos breaks out because now there's a fight for the bathrooms, especially on like the male side. Like people are like grabbing each other and pulling each other out of the way and so like the family unit has broken down. Like all those speeches y'all were giving a minute ago about being a new family and having a new son and all that is gone, right? Like this is the Capulets and the Montagues, all right? All over toilets, okay?
Yeah.
And so then as this is happening, I don't know what was going through his head. I don't know anything about why this happened, but the biggest fallout of the entire event is that a cousin on the bride's side chooses this moment of utter chaos to get down on one knee and propose to his girlfriend.
Because first off, proposing at a wedding sucks. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
People are out there doing this shit. Don't do that.
I'm not
Don't
even on the side of like bridezilla, whatever culture thing, but that is a genuine attack. Like,
it is just
you propose at a wedding. Exactly.
There's no other word for it except for fucking rude. It's just rude.
It is so it's
so rude. It ain't about you.
If you propose at a wedding and that person says yes, y'all have to stay together forever. There's no divorce now.
Yeah.
That should be the punishment.
You especially can't like have a canceled engagement. You gotta be right.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If you're wrong, you're gonna hear about it from whoever's wedding it was. That is who you are to them now. So first off, even outside of what's currently happening, don't do that.
Yeah.
Second, why then?
Why then?
Why then? What made you think now?
I think that's also my problem.
The way she's screaming in agony.
Yeah. The utter
lets me know I really love her.
Chaos of that moment. And then you're like, this is it. This is what we play for.
I will say it is an immediately memorable engagement.
Yeah.
For them too. No one else will because they are dying internally. So
there's a lot of internal bleeding right now. So
frankly, that may be actually, I'm going to amend what I said. That may be the only good time to propose at a wedding because no one knows you're doing it. Because they're turning inside out. So no one gives a shit that you're proposing right now. Because no one even cares a wedding's happening right now because they're dying.
Yeah. No, it's brutal.
And then you got to go around and try to tell people like, hey, we got engaged too. And your uncle pulls his head out of the urinal trough. Good job.
Because also, that's the other thing is that you have to factor in who's now sick from pot pie drunk.
Yeah. Pot pie drunk.
And I think that's also one of the craziest things about this wedding.
Keith is a real pot pie drunk. I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Like the thing that's also so hard to handle about this entire scenario is that it was like a summer wedding in Louisiana, which means it's hot and muggy, and you had pot pie. A stomach full of pot pie as you dance and get drunk on probably moonshine. I have no idea.
Nothing I love more on a hot summer day than a fresh out the oven pot pie. I like to sit on the porch and just scald the inside of my mouth.
Imagine
on some homemade hot pot pie.
Imagine burning your tongue in 90-degree weather in a suit.
Oh God!
Like there's nothing conducive with a good time.
Yeah, no.
That was brutal.
I'm still enjoying pot pie drunk too. Just pot. Yeah, man, we're about to go out tonight and get pot pie drunk.
Just imagine you're at a wedding and this is happening to you, by the way. So you're at the wedding and you don't know what's about to happen, but you know it's a little hot.
Yeah.
And you're in a shirt and tie, maybe a suit because you want to look nice because it's a wedding. And then you're sitting outside, sun beating down because it's a day wedding.
Yep.
Because if you have it at night, the mosquitoes are coming. And so so it's like this afternoon wedding.
They're coming for that gravy laden blood.
Those mosquitoes gonna have high cholesterol when they get done with you.
You can mosquito lands on you. You can hear it breathing heavy.
Yeah. Imagine just a mosquito with diabetes now, like sitting there like, I got the sugars, something awful. You're gonna have to cut off one of my wings.
Oh man, I have overdone it. Hey, a proposal.
And so imagine you go to that wedding, you're sitting there, it's hot, and then you finally get your food, which a lot of like, it's getting better now that more people are taking control of their wedding and how they want to do it. But traditionally, when people do things the old way, the food only came when you were starving. Like, like weddings when I was a little kid, you go to somebody's wedding. I'm talking about when I was like itty bitty. I would go to someone's wedding and be like, hey, why haven't we eaten yet? They got married like 2 hours ago. I don't know what that has to do with my life anymore. And so then now a lot of weddings that I've been to, especially recently, have like a nice like rhythm to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, generally, I'd agree with that.
And so then imagine you go to that wedding, you're already hot. You get served a piping hot pot pie. And then there's just Rebel Yell in the back, which is a liquor, but like there's just Rebel Yell to drink to wash down the pie.
I thought you meant the Billy Idol song is just playing.
No. There's a drink.
No, I knew what you meant. Just dancing with a plate of pot pie in the midnight hour.
And so then you start dancing, which is just shaking up your hot stomach. And then in the midst of the chaos of you trying to pull yourself together, you see a knucklehead near one of the tables proposing to his very sick girlfriend.
Do you know, did he try to get other people's attention?
I don't think so.
Everyone?
No.
Okay.
He like straight up just did it. But then anyone who wasn't sick, which also that's a good way to tell who doesn't like your cooking, because if anybody wasn't sick, they don't roll with what you make.
But now they're about to be sick because they're seeing a proposal at a wedding.
Yeah. And then it got back to the bride who ended up getting very sick. And then it got back to the bride. She was like, you tried to ruin my wedding, and now they don't speak anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I mean, why would you?
Because it'd be great if actually she was about to throw up and she's like, someone needs to distract you. Propose. Go, I don't. Do something. Everyone.
Oh, man. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
then
pretty great.
The other one that I've been saving for quite a while.
Oh, damn. Okay.
You still kind of tipped it when you talked about your slight bender with your friends.
My slight bender.
Yeah, because I don't actually know what the full definition of a bender is. So I said slight because you got sick.
No, it was just like, I think it was like I just ate a little too much and drank a little too much. It wasn't that wild. It's because I'm older and I don't like party now. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't take as much, but I haven't like just had a weekend with my friends in a while. So
out here, I got you. Living the dream, killing them, laying it down.
In the sink. Yeah.
Juicy.
Getting real juicy on the weekend. Getting that pot pie drunk. Yeah.
Just a stomach full of gravy. And then you out here trying to dance to Usher's "Yeah."
Burp, 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 blah.
And so the second one is is one that was told to me in college. Basically, you know how that's actually a big thing in the South, where a lot of people get married very young. Like we're talking 21, 22. Like it's a small
Same
town
up
thing
here, man.
sometimes, and sometimes it's
I mean,
a
hell,
culture thing.
I got married at 22. So
Yeah. It's like it's just a thing where
Totally get it.
you're with your people and you get to know someone so well from proximity that for a lot of people it does make sense, especially if you're not going to move. Like imagine if you're not going to move from your
Right,
small
yeah.
town. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out how best to frame this for you. Because I'm trying to think of like which perspective is the best to tell you from.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to do it from the third perspective, which is the friend that told me, instead of either person. So
Okay.
they were hanging out.
Third person omniscient.
Yeah,
narration is what we're going for
essentially
here.
third person omniscient, because I know what's going to happen. They didn't know what was going to happen. But if I pick a person to tell you, it might leave too many blanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So they are they are friends with two people. Let's just call them Sarah and Tommy. All right.
Sarah and Tommy are the friends.
Sarah and Tommy are the friends, right?
They are the lead characters of this story.
They are indeed. Sarah and
Okay.
Tommy will, go out with their friends a lot and everything. And because they're in a smaller part of Louisiana, one of the main things to do is go to Walmart, right? And so,
Hey, as someone from small town Iowa, yeah, we did a lot of that.
yeah, especially when you're young, like when you're like,
Yep.
once you are old enough, you go to bars and stuff like that. But
Yeah, but when you're young, you go in and you look at the DVD selection, and then you just kind of go sit on the furniture.
yeah. Or you talk about why certain things are in the $5 bin,
Yeah.
What happened to
Whatever-
his career? Where's he at right now?
Man,
We thought he was
Christian
big in the
Slater.
90s.
Christian Slater ain't getting shit now.
Oh,
3 of his movies on one disc.
Yeah, they would do that, and that either meant you were an icon or you were like hardcore done.
It was one or the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either like these are 3 classic films by somebody, or someone please buy these John Travolta movies.
Yeah, it would be like 3 Christopher Walken on a disc movies, and
Yeah.
only one of them was one that was like a classic. The other 2 were just things he did early in his career.
And some that he's in for like a scene.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway, so they would go to Walmart, they would hang out. So they finally, get to be 21, and they go to bars, and it's like,
so now they can buy drinks in Walmart.
yeah, right.
really crack one and have it in the vacuum aisle.
And so once they're 21, they really start to go for it. And Sarah and Tommy both like drink pretty heavily, because that's also one of the things you do when there's nothing to do. And
Yeah.
Tommy goes way further than Sarah, though. Like he'll get much drunker, but then she, even in her state of drunkenness, is still able to take care of him. And so it's never so much a problem, because he's not like an angry drunk or what. He just gets like very bad on his feet, right? Like he's a faller, okay? He's a tipping risk, all right? And one day, while they're all out drinking and everything, Tommy's pretty far gone, and he slumps next to the table. And as he's slumping next to the table, everyone thinks he's falling. out of like sliding, falling out of his seat slowly. And he's not. He's like, someone even tries to pick him up, and he's like, no, I'm good. And he's slumped, like kind of still half in the chair, kind of leaning off the table, kind of on the ground a little bit. And he shifts over to where like one of his knees is actually on the ground and his butt is fully out of the seat. And he looks up at Sarah and he's like, will you marry me? And then Sarah, who's like not that drunk, gets furious. gets so, but that why you think, gets so angry and goes, Tommy, you did this already.
That night or
a different time when they were alone. Tommy was a little bit drunk, what she thought was a little bit drunk. Maybe it was very drunk. Got down on one knee, proposed to her. She said yes. And they were so excited and like, they were like chill and everything like that. And then the next day, she couldn't find the ring, right?
Oh, so he even had a ring with him.
No, he had a ring with him. He had a ring with him.
Oh, okay.
She couldn't find the ring, and she was too scared to tell because he literally just proposed like the night before or whatever. So then she doesn't tell her friends, and she doesn't tell anybody because she can't find the ring. So she's freaking out. And then a couple days later, they go out with their friends. Basically, Tommy forgot he proposed, stole the ring back because she left the ring she took off the ring that night and then like went to bed. So he sees it the next morning, grabs it thinking he must have left it out or something, has no recollection of proposing at all.
So she didn't lose it.
She didn't lose it at all. He took it back without remembering he proposed. And so then when he proposes again, she's furious because he's put her through this like maybe 2 days of freaking out, thinking that she had lost the ring. And he's proposing to her again because he forgot the first time. And he's doing it drunker.
Listen, I get that. I think kind of though, everyone's even in this one. I don't know. I feel like because she was terrified that she lost the ring, was the only one who seemed to have known they were engaged. He forgot. I don't know. I think that might be just a good blank slate. Just because now you're bringing it down. Now it's like, now we got to do a third one.
Yeah. Now we got to do a third one completely sober.
So now we're fighting. So drink up so we can forget this one. And then we'll do this again in a couple nights.
100%.
Come on. Renewing vows? How about renewing your engagement every other day? That's how you keep the love alive.
Yeah, because I don't know how long this, like, I just from the story, I was like, was it the next day or whatever? And they were like, oh, it seems short. But who knows how long she thought she lost it and just tried to not mention it and tried to, whatever.
But also, look how much he wants to marry her, huh?
Mm-hmm. That he forgot he proposed.
Okay, that doesn't help the point. But I mean, he really wants to do it, so he did it a couple times, and it's and you can tell it's just what's coming out because he's drunk. You know what I mean? As long as he's not like saying a wrong name or anything. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of feels like they were meant to be together.
Kind of.
Not saying they're perfect, but it seems like they're living on the same page.
Oh man,
this is what I'm getting.
Hey, so we're actually going to wrap up this episode because Logan's camera died, and I don't know how to help him at all. I barely know how to work mine. I think that maybe I've lit myself right, but I may have been coming in very dark this whole video. If I haven't, it's because of some great post editing. But thank you so much for.
Don't put that on me.
No, I'm just saying. If
no, I'm kidding.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And we are excited to bring you these every week and to check out clips and other little parts that we're going to be putting out of episodes. And thank you for rolling with us. Happy 100, everybody. And we will be back with more.
Yeah. Thanks for listening for 100 episodes. I'm still here. You keep looking at the camera and I'll just talk for a while. Yeah. I'm your your inner thoughts.
Yeah, now. I don't really like that. That's this. You've made it weird now.
Yeah, that was my goal the whole time.
Okay. Well, we will see you in a bit, and we love you very much.
Bye.
A while back, I got invited to a friend's house, and he had cooked for me and some of his other friends. And when I say cooked, I mean like he went all out. You know, it was about 6 of us all together, right? But this is like multi-course, 5 hours of preparation, been cooking all day type thing. So by the time we get there, there's a whole spread across the table. There's stuff that he's pulling out of the oven. And we were touched that our friend wanted to do this for us, right? Took his own money, used the skills that he had to make good food, to have a good experience, have a good meal with us, right? And so, you know, we sit down and we sort of like half plated already, you know, when we sit down. And as soon as we get ready to eat, I guess he didn't pay his light bill because as soon as we get ready to leave, the lights go out, right? And we were, when I say we were ready to eat, I'm talking about napkin in and everything, chair all brought up and stuff, and then the lights pop off, right? And then he doesn't mention it at all, right? I'm scooping my chair up and the lights go out, and he don't even go, ooh, like nothing. He just, y'all, let's eat. And it is pitch black, okay? And in my head, I'm like, why? How often does this happen that you're not gonna say anything at all? Not acknowledge it one bit. And so then, like, I'm sitting in the dark and I'm looking around. I can't see anybody, but I'm looking around. You know the way you try to meet eyes when something wild happens and everything. And then after like a couple seconds, he was like, wait. I'm waiting to hear why. Maybe it's a breaker issue. Maybe it's just, you know, the block or something like that. And he's like, wait. Let's say grace. To be fair, when I say grace, I bow my head and close my eyes anyway, but it's different when the darkness is not your choice, right? There's something about saying grace in the dark that's genuinely menacing, okay? Because it's a prayer over your meal, but if it's pitch black and you hear somebody else go, Lord, please bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies, you're like, this one doesn't sound right. I don't like that. And it must happen a lot because not only does he not address it, but he is going with his fork and knife, and he's the only one out of us that's got any rhythm going with the plate, okay? Because he chose the right friends to do this in front of, because he doesn't mention it, so we don't want to mention it because we don't want to feel rude, you know? We out here treating broke like a country, like I wouldn't want to offend his culture, you know what I'm saying? Like, if eating in the dark is part of his customs, let's go ahead and acquiesce. And so we're all in the dark, and I could have sworn I knew how to use a fork and knife. I was positive, because I've been doing it my entire life. But it's not until you're in the dark that you realize, at least me, I have no idea where my mouth is, because we already had some peas and carrots and some mashed potatoes on the plate, right? But like I said, this is all like Thanksgiving style and everything, all family style. So a lot of the dishes are in other containers on the table. So I'm just trying to start with what I have. So then I go to scoop up some mashed potatoes, and then I stab myself in the cheek, right? So and he had done a good job with the mashed potatoes because they were nice and buttery, which meant I couldn't tell if I was bleeding or not, because it was just, because I had hit it hard. I got two prongs in the mouth and 2 prongs on the cheek, but I'm like, that got me good. I need to slow down, right? Because you're not really thinking about how fast your hand is moving when you try to eat. So then I'm like, let me go ahead and attack the peas. But the peas, I can't find my spoon, right? So the peas are gonna have to go with this fork, and they are slipping. I'm imagining they're going right off the plate. And so I'm trying to stab for some peas, but everybody can hear me just clinking, just hitting plate, right? And finally, I feel a little thunk. That's a carrot. So then I lift up slowly. I bite a carrot. It's hard because he didn't actually cook everything well, just the mashed potatoes. So now I'm eating bad food in the dark, right? Because every time I do get a bite of something, the food is still hot because he did a good job of plating, right? So there was a little bit of chicken, little chicken thigh that was already on the plate and stuff. So I cut that up a little bit, put the chicken in my mouth. But now I didn't realize how hot it would be because I couldn't see steam, right? So now I have burned my tongue in the moment, and I'm doing that. And I'm not the only one, because he is the only one hitting any of this with rhythm. Yeah, I mean, like his fork, you can tell his fork slicing where it's supposed to slice, that he's scooping where he's supposed to scoop and everything. And everybody else, I'm assuming, is just making noise, because there are some, I don't hear any chewing. So I feel like the person next to me was just like, because the meat was tough, right? And so then, like I said, it was like Thanksgiving family style and stuff. So then our host pops up, is like, I forgot some of the cranberry sauce. Let me go up and get it. And for as adept, okay, he gets up, and all we hear is, ow. I'm back. And so I know that I'm making an attempt to eat. I'm doing my best, right? But then apparently someone else is, because from the other side of the table, I can hear someone, because once again, it's family style. I hear somebody, hey, sheepishly, hey, you don't need to whisper. It's just dark. Hey, real quick. Okay. Sorry. Can somebody pass the green beans? And so then the person who thought they had the green beans starts feeling for the container, right? So now we hear them plopping along the table and everything. And then they finally grab it, and then they from over here, who wanted it again? And instead just saying their name, they're like, over here. So then we had to get the green beans across the table, Marco Polo style. And I could feel people passing it past me, but I didn't want to be involved, right? I didn't want to have anything to do with this whatsoever. And so then I can see, no, I can't see anything, but I can tell that the person to my left is trying to reach for it from the person from my right. And so I'm like, I don't need to help. I just need to lean back. But because they can't see, they lean forward and just grab my face. And then they're like, is this it? I'm like, no, it's not. And so I push their hand forward. They actually grab, I'm assuming, the casserole platter. And then I think they dropped it a little bit, because then I feel a hot splash, right? So I get a hot splash, boom, right on the face. And I'm just like, oh. They get the green beans over to that side of the table. Turns out it was yams, okay? So, and when you go to take what you think is going to be green beans and it's yams, it's a texture you'll never forget, right? No one was ready. And so once I get like hot splash, because it was whatever it was, it burned a little. I was ready to go, and it had been some time, you know what I mean? Like, most meals only take, 15, 20 minutes to really eat until you get full anyway. And it had been however long it had been, I don't know. And so I'm ready to go, but I don't want to be the first one. So then I try to I'm not good at, but I try to throw my voice. A little bit like, well, this has been so great. And obviously everybody felt the same way, because then as soon as I scoop my chair to get back, everybody else get ready to get up, right? And so we all start getting up and we thank him for cooking and everything. And then we feel our way for the door. And as soon as we open the door, a bunch of hallway light spills in. I'm like, why didn't we just... This was wholly unnecessary. And so I go to leave, and as I'm leaving, I pass a mirror in his lobby, which is the first look I get of my face. I haven't looked like this after I've eaten since I was a baby, all right? Because I got mashed potatoes here. I knew about those, right? But then I got a little bit of like chicken right here, just a couple of strands of chicken. And then this was gravy. So I got splashed with hot gravy coming down my face. That's why I vet people now. Like now when people offer to have me over and cook, I ask some of their friends, I'm like, hey, have you been over there before? Are they a good cook? Do the lights stay on? Things that you just need to know before you go. You know, it's a really, really beautiful thing. Black women are having an incredible summer. This is phenomenal, right? Like just in the Olympics, Lauren Scruggs is the first black woman to win an individual medal in fencing. And not only do I just love seeing black people succeed, I love seeing black people succeed at stuff I didn't know we did. So if you don't know what fencing is, because I didn't know. It's basically when people cosplay Bridgerton, all right? Okay, so it's a mix of stuff. So like, you know when people go on a padded cell, right? They do that, but they wear the cell, okay? So they go ahead and wrap themselves in like a padded cell and stuff, and then they get that stance, right? They get that long stance, and then they got their little sword is thin, and then they sort of try to musketeers each other until one of them get the most points, right? I still haven't figured out why they always do it. To me, it would just make more sense to have it and be like, ah! Like that seems like you really get some points just really coming at somebody, right? And I thought, as I thought about it more and as I learned more about the sport, which I still don't know very much, I thought to myself, man, I probably could have been pretty good at fencing if I had applied myself, because I grew up in the South with black grandma. So I'm used to the sound of... Because my grandma and I had this thing, right? Like if I was really acting up, if I was bad enough, right? She would tell me, go outside. There's a dead bush, and go ahead and pick your switch. And if you don't know what picking a switch is, if you were born after Child Protective Services, picking your switch was a form, after you've been acting up and go out there and pick your switch, it was a form of psychological torture, because you would get out there and then you trying to pick the switch most likely to break. Because you're like, all right, let me see. I'll let her get 3 good licks in, but then it'll snap and she'll be like, let bygones be bygones, right? And so you go out there, and I would go out there, I'd be testing them. I'd be like, that one got too much bend to it. Let me guess. And so then you bring your switch back to your grandma, and then she go to She go to pop it a couple times, and just out of reflex, you start, whoo, whoo. It's hot, right? I think if my grandma had whooped me just a few more times, I really could have been a medalist in fencing. Like, I could have been like... And then, Lauren is amazing, but you also have Simone Biles. The most decorated gymnast of all time. She won again today. I thought they were done. She won with the vault. A lot of people are amazed at how high, how elegantly, just the way that she moves through the air, the strength that she has, the grace in her movements and stuff like that. And some people are surprised at how high she can go and all that stuff. I'm not at all. I'm surprised that she comes back down to earth. Because I saw just a picture of her doing the vault, and when she flew, I was like, y'all, she gone. She going to space. Incredible. Like, Simone will get me so hyped up. I remember the first time I saw her. First time I ever saw her perform at all in one of her events. And I got so hyped, I tried to do a cartwheel. That's what I can't stand with people that are good at stuff. They make it look easy, and then you do it, and then you almost snap your whole spine. Because she did some routine where she was like, boom, 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 and she was just everywhere and nowhere at the same time. She was flying, she was coming down, and then she got done, and I was like, ooh, that's so cool. And then my back hit the wall. I just started sliding down. Even outside of Olympics, you got Kamala Harris. Joe Biden steps aside, Kamala takes up the mantle. She is the presidential candidate and everything. And, when she enters the race, she's actually polling slightly higher than Biden was, right? Really like giving Trump a run for his money to a certain degree. Like, she's polling a little bit higher. And then in the time since, she's been polling, ticking up and everything. And there's just been so many instances of like let's say she's on camera or something. This happened a few days ago. She was walking up the stairs already. An improvement, right? She was walking up the stairs to the plane that was waiting for her, and a reporter yelled, right? A reporter was like, oh, I'm like trying to answer, get her to answer a question. And she turned, because she heard him. She turned. She turned because she heard him, right? And then he's like, have you picked a VP yet? And she went, no, not yet. And then she keeps walking up. Now, this may not be a big deal to some, but if you are a Democrat, it's a lot more multitasking than we've been used to in a long time. She can walk, she can hear, and she can talk at the same time. That's wild. I'm not saying it's new, but it's been a minute. And just when it felt like her campaign couldn't get any more momentum, Trump went to the National Association of Black Journalists. And I want to say something real quick, and I really want you to hear me when I say this, all right? For real. Please, right? Please hear me when I say this. I think that it's important, no matter who you are, because other countries are better at doing this than we are sometimes. No matter who you are, I think it's important for someone to go where most people oppose them and express their ideas. I think it's important because it's important for us to have discussions that are real. A discussion where the person who believes the thing said the thing to you and you're not hearing it secondhand from someone you already agree with. Part of why we are the way we are right now is that people don't really want to listen to someone that they are diametrically opposed to. They want to hear from someone they already like, but someone you already like tends to believe what you believe. So then we're playing telephone with each other's ideas sometimes, right? And so I do think that it was good what he did. He went to a place where he was not gonna be lauded over, was not gonna be like babied with what he's trying to say. He went to a place where he was opposed. I think it's good what he did. He just shouldn't have done this. Do you see what I mean? You know what I mean? Because he went to the National Association of Black Journalists, and this is my thing. A lot of people didn't really talk about this, but they were opposed within the group if he should come or not. There were some people that were like, we shouldn't platform him. I can't believe y'all are even inviting him. And there were other people that said, hey, look, this is a presidential candidate. We need to hear out whatever it is he has to say because he could potentially become the president. So you had both those ideas bouncing back off of each other, bumping heads. And then you had me. I was in a very particular camp, which was let him cook. Because, you know, this dude rolls up and pretty early on, I say first 3 minutes, this dude said she was Indian and then one day she just turned black. He said turned black. And I was like, Donnie, what else you got? That's a little while later, he hit it. He hit it. I didn't know if it would come up again. I've been waiting. He hit it. He was like, the immigrants are coming and they are taking the black jobs. I've been wondering what a black job was since the debate because he said at the debate and nobody called him on it. Nobody caught it or anything. Black jobs. And then one of the women up there, because it was 3 women interviewing him. 3 black journalists were interviewing him. And one was like, sir, what is a black job? And then he was like, a job anybody could have. You know, and look, I don't know Kamala. I don't know anybody on her campaign or anything, but I know that they had to be watching. They had to be watching that the way that we watch Powerball. Just sitting there like, say turn black again. Say turn black, say turn black. One more time, please, please, please. Turn black, turn black. I'll be happy with a Negro. Can we get a Negro? Turn black or Negro, please. Okay. I know I'm getting older now because I've realized that a lot of people that I knew when I was young have passed away because of basic math. Do you know what I mean? Like, there'll just be someone that you're thinking about where you're like, oh man, they were old when I was a kid and I pay bills now, so. Oh yeah, oof. I went to a Catholic school in high school, and there was a priest there that I thought was hilarious. I don't even remember his name. I feel bad about it, but you know, he was dope, and he would do mass because we would have mass before classes and stuff. And he would always forget to turn his mic off. Consistently. I don't even think he knew it had an off button. He would always forget to turn his mic off, and then he would take the sacrament, right, which is a cracker. And then every time he did it with next to his mic, it sounded like he was losing a tooth every week. It was never not hilarious. I remember the first time it happened, I was like, did he crack his soul? Like, what? And you know, I'm not Catholic, but I would sometimes, when we would have a retreat or something, I would go to the confession just to like do it. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a certain power in going to confession when you're not Catholic, because you're going to tell someone a bunch of stuff they can't tell anybody else. And then they're going to tell you what to do about it, and you're just going to not. Like, so I went to confession, and it wasn't as much of a confession because I think he knew I wasn't Catholic, so it was more of a conversation, right? And in the conversation, he said something that stuck with me ever since, where he was like, I don't know. This is him. I don't know if there's a God. But I've read the Bible, and I feel like, God or not, that this is the best way to live my life. I feel like I'm happier, I'm kinder to people. I feel better with this thing than without it. So that's just me, right? And I never heard someone, especially someone like in a church, like of the church, speak so candidly about their beliefs, right? I'd ask people my entire life straight up, hard questions. And sometimes they'd be like, well, you know, God has a plan. But when somebody hits you with, I don't know either, it really stops both of you. I remember the moment he said it, I was like, oh, I hope I didn't break. I hope I didn't break a priest. You gotta go to hell if you break a priest. But he was like, no, I don't know. But I think that even if nothing happens when you die, even if there's no God, by the time I'm gone, I'll be pretty happy about the way that I lived my life. And I thought about that the other day. And I was like, ooh, I was 14. And he was like 84, so... I definitely missed a funeral. Okay. I don't drive because I'm a terrible driver. Like, I failed my driving test, and I'm out of practice since then. And so I don't drive, but I get driven. I take Ubers and stuff like that. Friends have given me rides and stuff. So I understand the value of gas money. And, you know, it always felt like some classic 90s late night joke to talk about gas prices and if they were high or they're getting so high or whatever. And at least right now, gas, at least in most states, is on the lower side. It's cheaper. It's trending down, actually. It's cheaper than it was last week at the time that I'm saying this, right? Don't quote me years from now. Mr. Moneybags thinks that gas is cheap. It's like, no. I'm saying that as of
September 4th, 2024. Gas is trending down. It's cheaper than it was last week. It's cheaper than it was a month ago. And it's down from a year ago, right? And I think that because of that, gas stations are maybe hurting a little bit, and they're starting to sell extra stuff that is a bad business model, right? Like extra stuff that shouldn't even be at the gas station. Like I saw gas station flowers. Fellas, if you ever mess up and you're thinking about what you did and you're on your way home and you're feeling apologetic, but you don't want, you messed up too bad to just text. You can't just be like, I'm sorry, LOL. It's not going to work. You're like, I got to make this right? And so you're getting your apology ready in your head. And then, you see that the tank's pretty close to E. You're like, let me be responsible. Fill up the family car, right? And then you get to the gas station. You fill up the car. And then you see inside that there are flowers. Real flowers. At the gas station. If you walk in and you buy those flowers and you bring them home, she will leave you, all right? Gas station flowers look like an omen. Like, they're just dead enough to be alive. I've never seen anything like it. Like, and for sale of regular price flowers too. There was a bouquet that was in a bucket with a bunch of other bouquets, and I looked and the sign said $9.99 for these very dead. There's no vegetation around. These flowers were clearly shipped in like the back of a fridge or something. Flowers are big. Salads. I'm all for people eating their greens. And I think we should be healthier as a country. But if you buy a gas station salad, you have just used your credit or debit card to pay for E. coli, right? E. coli is supposed to be microscopic, but you can see it on a gas station salad. You can see it tap dancing in there. You can see it waiting to get inside you, excited. Eat me, please. I was at a gas station in Kentucky and saw, for sale apparently, a loose pickle. When I say a loose pickle, I want you to understand I said it right. I was at the gas station. My friend was getting gas. I was going to buy a bottle of water. And as I'm walking towards the fridge with the waters in it, I pass a shelf. The shelf has pickles laid out on the shelf and a price tag right under it. $1.99 for these loose pickles. $1.99 for these loose pickles. They're just on a very dusty shelf. And they were wet. Like they had pickle juice on them. And it was a mystery I needed to solve because in my head, I was like, what could have happened here? Because this was like a mom and pop gas station. It wasn't like a Circle K or, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like anything like that. It wasn't a Shell or anything. It was just like a regular independent gas station. There's very few now, and I guess I can see why. But this loose pickle is just on the shelf with some other loose pickles, like, but it's wet. And in my head, I was like, this is like either a miracle or the worst business idea I've ever seen in my entire life. Can you imagine someone pitching, look, pickles taste like pickle, all right? Just throw them out there. Don't put them in a jar. Don't let them soak in pickle juice. They're going to taste like pickle no matter what you do, all right? Sure, there's a little dust. That dust is character, okay? But truly what I think happened, because this is like an indie, mom and pop gas station, I think somebody went in there, and don't get me wrong, a person who's out of their mind, they went in there and they were like, hey, let me get the whole jar of pickles, but no pickles. I just want the juice and the jar. And then this mom and pop gas station owner said, rightfully so, excuse me? Sir, I want the jar and the juice, hold the pickles, and I'll pay whatever price you want. And so then this very old man was like, okay. Because what do you charge for that? If somebody says, name your price, I would charge like $300. $300 would make me feel comfortable about making a sale to a serial killer, right? I wouldn't even say three, maybe 500. I think 500 would make me more comfortable about what I had to do while somebody watched. You know what I mean? No, 5,000. $5,000 would be my price, because I would want them to have to pay so much that they couldn't get far, and when I called the police, they'd just be one tank of gas away. Loose pickles. And I asked them, I was like, so your pickles over there, what's the deal with that? Because they're just loose on the shelf. And the guy goes, what? I was like, your pickles are loose on the shelf. Because now I'm getting nervous. So your pickles are loose on the shelf. And he's like, what? And he's like cursing under his breath. And then he goes over there to the aisle where I pointed. And he's like, not again! Again. And he's like, not again! I was like, wait, so this happened before? Like, you didn't want this to happen? Like, a weird stranger didn't come in here and pay you $5,000 for just the jar and the juice? And this dude explained to me while I bought my bottle of water that a resident weirdo comes in every couple of months and slyly takes all the pickles out of the jar and runs out with the jar and the juice. And he said, this dude said, I have alerted the authorities multiple times. But they say there's nothing that they can do because he's stealing, but it's not like a priced amount. And I was like, may I offer a suggestion? Pickles, $1.99 each. Jar, $5,000.
Okay, I'm just going to sort of throw this out there. I love coming to Arizona. I love visiting all the different parts. I was just in Tucson and everything. I will say, though, as a state, y'all got to decide which of the restaurants are just fronts. Like, just absolutely not a business at all. I was in Tucson and we walked into a restaurant that they looked very surprised we could walk in. It seemed... We walk in and now there are not any other customers. It's three people that are towards the back, towards the kitchen. Not in the kitchen, like outside the kitchen at the last booth, just counting money. If you run a business, your eyes should never be wide when you see a customer. We walk in, everybody, just looking caught. I was with Dave. Dave was like, are y'all open? And in my head, I was like, if you have to ask. And they were like, first of all, if you open, just say yes. This is crazy. They were like, yeah, sit anywhere. Why are you saying it like you just thought of that? Like, then we sit down, and one of them walks up. We never see the other two again. The one of them walks up, and he got one menu. And he was like, hey, yeah, I mean, get whatever you want. And then he is gone for a while. He's gone, and like, you could tell he was talking to the other ones, but so everybody whispering. But they're doing the loudest whispering I've heard in a long time. They're doing that panic whispering, because there's whispering where there's like, and then there's the whispering they were doing. It's like, and finally comes back up. He's like, hey, you decided on anything? And I was like, yeah, could we get some guacamole? And he was like, and then he left, and he was gone. He was gone for way longer than it takes to scoop guacamole. Like, I'm not complaining, I'm just noticing. I was like, all right, he already left us for quite a while after he gave us a menu, and now he's been gone for way longer. And then I see him, because in my head I'm like, oh, maybe he's making the guacamole. Maybe they're making it from scratch. Maybe it's one of those places. And sure enough, I see him walk out of the kitchen with a big old metal bowl, and you can hear him stirring the bowl and everything, stirring. And I think he's about to walk to our table, and he doesn't at all. This man walks out of the kitchen, is stirring the bowl, then walks up to the bar and grab some salt from the bar and started shaking it in the bowl. And I was like, your kitchen doesn't have salt? Seemed like salt would be the first thing in the kitchen. The only way that could have been worse is if he had walked up to my table and grabbed the salt. Then he went back to the kitchen. I guess kept stirring. It was a while. It was one of those things where I just started contemplating about how long it really takes to make guacamole. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, would I have made it faster at home? It feels like this restaurant was such a front that when we ordered the guacamole, he went to the back and he was like, listen, I made a list. You got to go to the grocery store right now. All right, get 2 avocados, get 1 onion, 1 tomato, a little bit of pepper. Where's the salt? And then he finally brought out the guacamole, and it was funny the way he did it because he clearly made the guacamole, then slid it all into a cup, shook the cup real hard, and then put it down upside down because it was like a tower of guacamole. It was an upside down cup of guacamole on the plate with the chips all around, and like this just me noticing. I'm really not complaining, but it wasn't enough chips. It was clearly whatever chips were in the bag that was in the bag, because it wasn't the amount of chips you would need to finish this cup of guacamole stacked upside down. And the chips were interesting. They all had different consistency and everything. At a certain point, here's the thing about a chip for me. When I dip a chip in guacamole, just give it some strength. I hate to dip into guacamole and have it snap in front of me, and then I look crazy. I look like I don't know how to eat. Making me look greedy just because your chip doesn't have strong corners. So, take the chip, scoop some out, doesn't snap, already a good sign. And guacamole was actually phenomenal. It was actually really, really good. It was crazy. And so he was gone for a while, and then he comes back up like 5-10 minutes later, and he's like, how is it? And we were complimenting, like, this is actually really good. And we shouldn't have said actually, but under the circumstance. You know what I mean? Like, just under the circumstance, that y'all look surprised to see us. So how are we supposed to know the guacamole would be good? You look like you didn't plan on making any today. We were like, this is actually phenomenal. This is really, really good. And he was like, thanks, man. Wow, thank you. And I was like, wait, what? Why do you seem like you really needed to hear that right now? It was crazy. It's like, yeah, man, thank you. Thank you, dog. Appreciate it. Did y'all want to order something else? I will let you know before y'all order any cooked food. Our chef did leave, all right? I don't know when he gonna be back. It's like, all right, yeah, I guess y'all are a regular restaurant. That's fair enough. There's that, and then there's, especially when we were in Tucson, it felt like everybody was kind of trying to be healthy. There was so many like salad bowl places, but then there was an ice cream store next to every salad bowl place. This is the most ice cream stores per capita. There were ice cream stores across the street from each other, like rivals. And then while we were deciding where we were going to eat, after we didn't eat, this dude was on a scooter, and he took a spill, right? He was on a scooter, and I don't know. I've never been a fan of these like bird scooters. These like, the one that you can just, as a pedestrian, hop on and ruin your life.
You know what I'm talking about. You know the scooter that's just parked. You feel like you're stealing it. Like if it didn't take your phone to unlock it, you'd be like, this is a crime I'm doing right now. And how is it built? Remember those scooters from when we were little that just had the brake on the very end of the back wheel? It's somehow that scooter mixed with the throttle from a motorcycle. Because why'd they make them go so fast? You got people driving next to cars on the scooter or just murdering pedestrians. Because there's no tutorial. All you need is a credit card and you could just become a bullet. It's insane. There's no video to watch or anything. You just get off. I'm going to say some things that are a bit conflicting in nature, at least. Like, we saw a guy take a spill on one of these scooters, because why wouldn't you, right? And the way this man crashed didn't make any physical sense. Because he definitely crashed and like went over the handlebars, right? But by the time we turned and saw him, do you remember planking? This man did a mix of planking and a stop motion music video, because he didn't just slide up to us on the ground. He really like his whole body kept trying to stop on the pavement. I know that hurt. Glasses flew off his head. Glasses weren't done flying. I don't know what I said. I was like, oh my gosh. And I don't know. I wish I was a hero. I was one of those type of people that like springs into action. That's not who I am at all. I just kept standing there like, ooh. Wow. You look hurt. It's not good at all. It's not right what I did. And I didn't mean to do anything. And I didn't do anything to help. I just, whoa. It was my buddy. My buddy picked up his glasses, walked up to him and was like, hey, are you okay? You know, and this is the thing as men. Like, just as guys, right? For real, just it's okay to be hurt. I don't just mean that in some sort of like metaphorical sense. I mean, like, if you get hurt, it is all right to be like, ow. Because we basically watched this man die. But then when we asked him if he was okay, after he got done sliding, and he realized we saw, but we were like, are you all right? This man in front of us just started doing push-ups. Dog, no. You're not gonna convince us that this was part of the plan. That's only a man could like do something like, only a man could like wreck a car, fly out the windshield, wrap himself around a tree, and then grab a branch and be like, one. Like, in what world? You must be out of your mind. Doing push-ups, and then my buddy walked up with his glasses and then handed him his glasses. He was about to leave his glasses. He was about to get back all this. Because here's the thing. This is one thing that I can say I relate to with my man here. When I fall, I also want to make sure that I never see the people who saw me fall again. When I fall, if I fall in front of you, it's either me or you. I gotta kill you now, and I hate that. But one of us has to go. This is too embarrassing. And so my man was about to drive off on the scooter he just fell from. I assume he needs glasses if he's wearing glasses. This man was about to get back off the scooter blind and drive off just to not be in front of us anymore. And my buddy walks up, hands his glasses back to him, and he's like, yeah, that thing got me. Just got me. And my buddy was like, the curb? Yeah, it tends to do that. Like, you gotta really pick street or sidewalk. The curb is kind of the only thing keeping those two apart. And then we noticed, like, he actually, from all the sliding, he actually did scrape his chin pretty hard. So his chin was bleeding. My buddy even said, he's like, you're bleeding, right? And then he goes, I know. No. You can't out tough blood. I was just saying. But I've been having a great time in Arizona. It's been very fun. Can I tell you? It has been cracking me up. Apparently, it looks like Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to step down in January, right? Look. Y'all cheer, but that means there's room for somebody crazier. That's so wild. Woo! The next person shows up. You're like, oh, maybe not. Because this is my thing. It is very funny to me that it took this little resistance for Marjorie Taylor Greene to be like, you know what, I'm up out of here. I don't know. The rumor is that Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for Senate, and Trump said he wouldn't support her for Senate, that he'd only support her if she stayed in her House position. Now, I don't know if that's because of the fact that they need the numbers where they are, or because he doesn't believe that she could win the entire state. Whatever it is, he told her no. And he... And then something changed. He told her no, and then something changed between them. You know what I mean? Like she was like, I think I want to go to the Senate, and Trump said no, and then she was like, oh my God, you're in the Epstein files. Like it was it was pretty crazy. Because she has been she's been attacked with all the vindictive nature of somebody who wanted something and didn't get it. You know what I mean? Because now she won't like fully come out against him and say like, oh, you are covering up, you specifically. She keeps acting confused. I don't know why. No. If you ever date anybody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, you already know the tactic. I don't know why. Isn't that weird? I think it's kind of funny how like... Isn't that crazy that he just like won't release the Epstein file? Like, and I'm not even saying he did anything. I'm just saying, isn't it crazy that it kind of looks like that because he's like protesting too much? Nah. And then it came to a head. Then, Trump attacked her back and everything. Y'all saw. This woman's crazy. It's what a lot of people say about their exes. You know what I mean? It's like, here. I can't believe she's a lunatic. All this stuff. And then she was like, oh, I'm crazy. That's the thing about calling somebody crazy who might actually be crazy, is that they never take it well, but they take it better than you think they're going to take it. They have a crazy reaction to it. It's like, oh, I'm crazy. Fine. It's like, what does that mean? And then she just kept going. She just kept, beating that Epstein drum. He kept coming after her. Then he called her a traitor.
Who would have thought that traitor hurt more than crazy? Do you know what I mean? This man was calling her a lunatic, called her every type of out of her name, out of your mind thing you could say about a person. And then he finally said she was a traitor, and she was like, whoa. I didn't know the gloves were off. That was crazy. Because then she had a press conference. This is, ooh. She had a press conference. And then behind her were a bunch of Epstein survivors. Yeah, like a bunch of women who were like, no, we've publicly been calling for the release of Epstein files forever. And then Marjorie standing right in front of them, got the microphones way too high. They should have given her a stool or something. That one, I don't even like her, and that wasn't fair. That was, is she the shortest person that's ever lived? Why would they do that? That's insane that they even let just one step stool would have fixed that whole situation. They let her walk up. Who knows? Maybe they tried to help her. Maybe they did. Maybe they were like, you really should, to get to the lectern, you should probably have a little steps, do something like that. She was like, now the truth will make me tall. No, I'm sure she said something like that. And then she got up there, now she got to talk up. And the president the president called me a traitor. Anytime you talk under the mic, you do sound like a munchkin. Like it's just like it does. The president called me a traitor. Let me tell you what a traitor is. I was really trying to take her serious the whole time. But you even saw the women behind her be like, oh. And she almost, it was a moment. Look, maybe it's wishful thinking on my part. I'm willing to admit that. But there's a moment where I could swear she almost said president. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a moment she's alluding. She doesn't say it. She still doesn't quite say it. But she's over here. A traitor is is someone that sells this country out in billions of dollars to Argentina. Like, Margie, just say his name. Who else did that? Do you know what I mean? That's like when you live with a girlfriend, they're like, somebody didn't take out the trash last night. Well, it's only two of us here, so if you're not saying it's you, why don't you just call me out then? No, and then she said she's stepping down in January. Okay. All right. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. It is, because it's like she did, like I will say. So I'm trying to figure out how to put this. She did undergo a lot of harsh treatment from people based on Trump attacking her. Like when Trump attacked her, a lot of like MAGA itself seemed to turn on her. in a way that I'm just saying this as a spectator. Not taking any sides, I'm just saying. It does seem a little weird and unfair that you attack her now when she's like, how about we release the Epstein files? She's getting all sorts of threats and everything, all sorts of attacks and stuff. And then she went on CNN, trying to, I guess, do like some sort of like image rehabilitation or something like that. She gets on there and she's like, I'm sorry for the toxic politics that I've been a part of. I'm pretty sure it was Dana Bash. Dana Bash is over here like, all right, well, I have a list to go through. We're not just gonna let you keep it vague like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, I'm sorry for like the toxic politics I've engaged in. What do you mean? That's most of what you did. Like, that would be like Jeffrey Dahmer coming out and being like, I'm sorry for the bites I took. Like, it's... Whoa, you are grossly understating your impact on the community. This is wild. You know, then she just started going down the list. Like, are you sorry for when you liked a bunch of tweets about putting people to death? And she's like, you know what? I would love to move forward. I already deleted a lot of those tweets. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, it was very funny to watch to me because I was like, all right, look, maybe she's like changing, or maybe she just really wanted that Senate seat. Like, maybe she's really upset that Senate seat's not going to happen. And then she's asked about that. It's like, I'm hearing that, you know, some of your break from Trump wasn't necessarily a change in ideology. It was the fact that you wanted to run for Senate and he said no. And then she was like, that's absolutely untrue. I haven't even talked to the president about that. And then she talks about how she's been getting all these threats and everything. And look, I will say, nobody should be getting, like, you know, threats online or any of that stuff. Like sometimes it happens to somebody that's not a particularly good person, so you do care a bit less. But overall, no matter who it happens to, the whole idea of being better than the idea of doing something is you actually have to be better. You know what I mean? If you're on the side that's better, you have to be better, you have to act better, and sometimes that just means like not engaging in the thing. It shouldn't be a race to the bottom. And it is wild that people talk about like a violent, radical left all the time, but somebody just sort of like sick the right on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she was like, yeah, I think I'm good. I don't know. These people have guns. And it does just blow my mind. That like really took me aback. The irony there. You know? Like okay. I didn't know this dude personally, but there was the story that I was told when I was living in Chicago about this dude that basically, all right, it should make me laugh because I'm glad it happened to me. But there was a guy in Chicago. I used to live in Rogers Park, and there was a dude apparently in like Edgewater area, which is a little bit south of where I lived, that he would rob people, right? And the way he robbed people is he just had like 3 rocks and a sock. And he would just... And it is, I don't know, it's like, that's terrifying. That's just, I don't know. I'm not saying a gun would be better, but a gun would be conventional. You know, like, is an upsetting idea that you could be robbed in a sort of David Goliath type situation. You know? Nobody prepares for that. Like, you know what I mean? If somebody has a knife, you like, no, okay, they mean business, right? If somebody got 3 rocks and a sock, you like, are they serious? And so he would rob people, right? And he did this like off and on in the area for like a month and a half. Like people would just talk about it. I used to work at a grocery store that was like in that area, so people would just be talking about it at work and everything. And then finally, there was one day he tried to rob somebody. His rocks in his sock. But they had a shovel. Apparently they hit him with a shovel and took 5 wallets off of him. That's a version of what Marjorie Taylor Greene must be going through. You know what I mean? It's like, she did all this stuff for so long, and now finally she's the one getting threats, and she's like, these people are crazy. It was really upsetting stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know where she'll go after this. Because a lot of people move from government to like the private sector. They do a lot of speaking engagements and stuff like that. They do a lot of, I don't know. I really don't. Yeah, I mean, who's gonna hire Marjorie Taylor Greene for a speaking engagement? I mean, I'm sure there's organizations out there that are like, yeah, go up there and tell them how everybody's a lizard. Go ahead.
What you have to understand about the lizard people that they have and wear skin just like ours. They walk amongst us.
No, I've been trying my best to improve, you know. I've been trying to like work out and stuff. I feel like some of my friends that have worked out have seen progress, and I was like, I would like some progress. So I started working out, but nobody tells you, man. Nobody tells you that working out should be something I do more often or not at all. Like it's crazy because you'll want to. I used to want to get big. I used to want to be like a big guy. Every year I have hope. Hope is a hell of a drug. Every year I got hope I'm gonna turn all around this year, you know? And it's like I'm gonna be like a bigger dude. And it's not, I don't know. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen as I'm gonna stop trying. I'm saying it's not gonna happen as in I have to accept that I'm done growing. So whatever I do from here on out is just going to be more horizontal than vertical. You know? So it's like, even if I got big now, that'd be bad. I didn't get tall. I'm not tall. So then I would just be wide. So then and a wide muscular guy is on no one's list. There's no one
Ooh, I can't wait to get to that stout fit man. I love that build of the guy who looked like he worked out for the circus. I love that. It's never been said by anybody. Because you would even, if you got really fit, but you were like, still, I don't know, like regular height to short. It is funny, when you're regular height, like apparently I'm regular height. I didn't even check. Somebody just told me that. But they were told, they did tell me that when I was having a bad day, so it might not even be true. Like it's... I wasn't even bummed out about my height. I was having a bad day. They were like, you regular height? And I was like, that's a weird thing to bring up. But there's no, it just, as a man, there's no way to be regular height. You're short. Because when you even say I'm regular height, that's a short thing to say. Do you know how little you look screaming I'm regular? You look like you lost 6 inches right there. Standing up with your back, because you got your back straight so that you get all your height credit. You know what I mean? Because of back. Are you mad too? Anytime you get mad, but you gotta look up a little, it makes you look shorter than you are too. Like, tall men may always seem like a threat, but at least people take them seriously when they're angry, you know? Like, if you regular height and you get mad and you're like, I'm regular. No, you're a little guy now, you know? And so I've been working out, but it's like, I don't know, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening, you know? Like, you be like, oh yeah, I'll even see other people's transformation video where they're like, I worked out for 8 months and look at me now and look at me then. And it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, let's try that. And then you go to the gym and it just hurt. They leave that out, that is gonna just hurt the whole time. Everything you want to do hurt. Like, you want big arms, you're gonna have to hurt your arms for a while. You basically gonna have to hurt your arms 3 times a week and make sure you eat enough steak but don't have a heart attack. It was crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, get all your protein in. It's like, all right, but what if I'm ready to throw up? Like, I can only eat so much. I'm regular height. You can't fit all the food in you. You need to be bigger. If you want to be bigger with muscle, you could be bigger just in general. You could just start with Oreos and never stop, and then I could be a bigger man that way. Yes, but I was trying to do it like that back of the arm muscle. You know that one that like flexes when you point? Just try and get one of those. I mean, hopefully 2. You would hate to just have one. Be terrible. Be terrible. You out here working your hardest too. You know, just working, doing pull-ups and pushes. We gotta figure out which one of these exercises work. You know what I mean? Some of them are like functional. Like I understand a deadlift to me makes sense because it's picking up heavy. That's the dumbest way I could have said it, but it's true. A deadlift is just you pick up heavy. And then if you pick up heavy, strong. This must have been how the cavemen said it. You know what I mean? This must have been how, like, when they were first inventing working out, when they were like, oh, your life isn't that hard, so you're not as strong as us, so if you want to get as strong as us, you have to simulate it. They didn't say simulate, that word wasn't invented yet, but like, you have to simulate it by doing as much work as we do, but just doing it in like little intervals. They wouldn't have said intervals either, but they were just like, pick up big, then strong, right? And then somebody picked it up. Again, and they picked it up again. And then they picked it up to a point where it was easy. And I was like, all right, you're strong now. That is strong, you know? And it's always nice, especially if you're regular height, to be strong.
because nobody expects it. I don't know what it is we do. I don't know why we do this, but there is a certain amount of help needed on the shelf. We assume that person also can't pick up stuff. Because they made, I don't know why they did this, by the way, but they made a shelf at the grocery store that is one finger higher than regular height. It's one, because you can touch it. This is extra embarrassing. When you can touch, and now you gotta strategically finger a cereal box. And because you try to use your two fingers. You try to use two fingers to like clamp the sides and pull. And then pull back, right? But if you can't clamp it, you have to try to slide it and then knock it over on your own head. The amount of times I've knocked a box into my own face, and now somebody turned the corner, I'm standing at the grocery store holding my eye, acting like I'm not hurt. Caught a corner in the eye. Corner of a cereal box. I don't know, why would they do that? It's crazy. Why would you do that? No one likes it. Just stop using that shelf. Put an ad on that shelf. I'll look up. Stop doing that, because then it puts us both in a terrible position. Puts us both in a very bad position, because now I gotta ask a tall man for help. I'd rather die. Now I gotta ask a tall man to help me like I'm his child. I don't know him. And then he gotta help me or else he evil. I do have a tall friend who gets asked all the time for stuff like that, and he doesn't do it at all. And I'm like, you know how many people just wishing death on you? Like, do you know how many people you over here walking down the aisle, and there's just little people. Can you get the pickles? And then you over here, nah, I'm good. Like, that's a crazy thing. It's your day. You should be able to do what you want with your day, but that is a crazy way to respond. Somebody needs help because the grocery store ran out of space, I guess, so they had to build up. So they made a skyscraper shelf that nobody can reach up, so that you reach up as hard as you can, and you over here. Trying to caress this jar of pickles so you can hopefully catch some glass in the face. It is terrible. One time, okay, this is really bad. I was furious. There was this one time I was at a grocery store and I just needed some taco seasoning, right? And they put it on the highest shelf in the spice aisle. It's over here. And this was one of those ones where they sell the packets, all the packets individually, but they sell it as an individual thing, even though the box comes with all the packets in it. So then the people that work at the grocery store, I know because I used to do this when I worked at the grocery store, they rip the top of the box and then all of the packets are just in there, right? And so it's at the top of the shelf because somebody is Satan. And so then they put this one in the top. And so I'm reaching up and I'm trying to, the only thing I can think to do is just go ahead and try to get my finger in the box so I can slide the whole thing out, grab one, and then put it back, right? And so I pull the whole thing down. The whole thing starts coming down. I get ready to catch it with my hand, but I guess one of these packets was defective because it was at least like halfway open. So as I look up and I get seasoned in the eyes. The ingredients of some of this taco seasoning is heinous. This is cayenne pepper. This is paprika. This is everything red. Everything red and dry is in the package. So that I catch seasoning in the eyes, I start screaming, right? Look at that. Look at what y'all done. Now, because y'all wanted this extra shelf, I'm screaming in the spice aisle. Begging for help. No, because now I'm a tall person. Tall person walked by. I hate when somebody tall offer me help too. Get away from me. I'm doing it, all right? Especially, nothing get me like when I almost got it. Edge is about to slide off the top of the shit. I almost got it. And then walk up, do you need help? Where were you 45 seconds ago? Now you want to help now that all the work's been done. I don't actually hate tall men. I'm like mostly joking. I am. I do have a friend. He's 6'3", and one time he was crying, and I didn't feel bad for him. Yeah, I mean, I was like, come on, man. What are you so bummed out about? You know what I mean? So sad. Ooh. Because he also cried tall, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was like, he was. And has a deeper register because of, out here crying like he at the top of a beanstalk or something. What are you crying for? Just stand up. Like, as soon as you stand up, be like, oh yeah. No, I understand. I'm clearly joking. Tall people do have problems. Like door frames. Yeah. Right before the pandemic, I got real fit. That was the fittest I'd ever been in my life. Like, I was running, and it wasn't even an emergency. There's only two reasons to run, from or to. No, but I was running. Because when I started running, I wasn't good at running at all. And I don't mean that I fell. I could run, like I was running. But I wasn't a good runner in that when I would run for exercise, like let's say I was just out having a run, it did look like an emergency to the people who were witnessing me run. Like, they weren't like, he is jogging. They were like, uh-oh. Like, because I don't run well. I run like it's the start of the disaster movie. I run like I found out about the zombies first. And I left everybody and just let them, like the first zombie bit somebody and I was like, okay. And I dipped out. Because the way that I start running is not good. Like because when I start running, because it feels dumb to start running at all. Do you know what I mean? When you're already running, especially if you're if you're fit or if you're just like a general like hot person, or if you got a good stride, running looks good on you. You see people, like when people run the marathon and they're doing that like kick as they run, that like what is that? I've never seen somebody run so efficiently, But to start running, and it's not a race. You're just running because you wanted to. This is your workout. And you decide you're going to run today. And, you don't want to start running like it's actual. You don't want to bend down. That seems very dumb. So the way that I start running, it just doesn't look good. It's like I start running like I just started running. Like it looks bad when you see it. It doesn't help that I look behind me. Yeah, I just start running. There was one time I was running for a workout, and I had been running all week. So I had been doing a couple miles all week. So by this like 5th, 6th day, I was actually super comfortable. with running. I didn't feel as dumb doing it because I had been doing it for so long. I was like, I'm getting there. I get a couple miles in every day, get home. I've worked out. This is great, right? And then I was like, you know what I'm going to do? Now that I've built up a sort of tolerance around getting started, I got my confidence up, I'm going to try to run faster and a little further than I have the other days. I think this is how people get fit. And so I take off, right? And I take off exactly like we talked about. This is still how I start running. Just, right? But I take off running, and as I take off running, I start like kicking, trying to do the like stride kick I see the runners do in the marathon or in like clips on Instagram, stuff like that. I'm really trying to run. And then I'm picking up speed because I'm like, look, I can stop running whenever I want. So I might as well run as hard as I can, right? And so I was running. Then I noticed this guy behind me. And it was like he was running the same way that I was running. So I was like, oh, I wonder if that Forrest Gump thing is happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if I'm oozing so much confidence I hadn't got a follower. And so then I start running a little harder, and then he's also running behind me a little bit harder, and we're both running in a way that like we're running together, but we're still decently apart and everything. And finally, I'm starting to get a little tired. I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't want to let him down, but I do want to stop now. Like I'm not built for the Forrest Gump thing at all. Like, I don't think I could run long enough to start an entire run club or anything like that. I really didn't even want to do 2 miles, but I keep running, and now I'm like panting, but now I'm really pushing. And then they talk about hitting a wall and like a runner's high and stuff like that. I didn't feel any of that. It was all pain. It was all just like, I got that stitch in my side, like where your side starts to stab you because it's like, what are you doing? Why are you running, stupid? We're not meant to run. Sit down. And so then my side starts hurting, but then I'm holding my side as I'm running, which then looks really bad. Like, if it looked bad when I start running, seeing me run, And then I finally slow down enough that this guy catches up to me. And I'm winded, and he's winded too. I'm like, oh, okay, so he's just like me. We're both getting started running. This is amazing. I've made a friend. Running. This I've all said in my head. I'm too winded to speak. But I'm like doubled over. He's doubled over. And then finally he says something. He's like, what was it? I was like, what was what? He was like, what did you see? What do you mean? He's like, I saw you and I thought something bad must have happened. You know who works out hard? Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think that makes her even scarier because it's like, usually when you meet somebody who believes a bunch of conspiracy theories, they've been like, you know what I mean? Separated from society and in a basement for too long. You never meet anybody strong who's like, hey, have you heard about the lizard people? Okay, all right. This is very uncomfortable because you could also kill me. Like, there's a young woman named Riley Gaines, right? And Riley Gaines is famous because she was a swimmer, and basically in, I guess, the biggest competition of her life, she placed fifth, and a trans woman placed fourth. And so she's like, oh, if that athlete was not in the race, I would have qualified and gone on to the next stage. And that's like the hill she's dying on. That started her political career, and then that's why she gets invited to all these speaking engagements. And it is wild to me that you would tell so many people you were never going to win. Like that's crazy. Because here's the thing. Fifth means you weren't close. Fifth is crazy. Like that's, you know what I mean? You don't even have a silver medal type of bone to pick. It's like they don't make podiums for where you were going to place. Even if this person was not in your way, all right, you still can't swim as good as other people. Like, to be fair, look, I can't swim at all. I'm not a swimmer, right? I'm not a swimmer at all. I'm trying to learn, but it feels like I'm fighting the water when I'm in there. But I don't broadcast it. You know what I mean? I'm telling you right now, for the sake of the conversation that we're having, that I can't swim. But I don't do speaking engagements where I'm like, I can't even swim that well. Pay me. Pay me money because I came in fifth, which is not close to first. Man. It's like, and just, I don't know, it's like, because there's a very there's a very hateful approach to a lot of the things that she says. And it's like, but you, in theory, wouldn't you be thanking this person? Because this person, that's the reason that you say you came in fifth. If they weren't there, you would have come in fourth. And then you just wouldn't be that great of a swimmer. You'd have nothing to talk about. This person gave you a career. Now you can travel the country being like, I can't believe I came in fifth because of this trans person. This trans person is why I came in fifth. Because no one would give you money for a speaking engagement if you were like, I came in fourth against all these cis women. What's someone gonna do about that? Just throwing it out there. Oh, you weren't close. Fifth is, like, look, I'm not saying fifth is bad. I would have come in last. But fifth is not close to, there's several people. There's several people between you and winning. A substantial amount of people. There were enough people in between you and winning to pull you out of the water if you were drowning. Like, that's a crazy amount of distance between you and number one. That's just a fact. It's a fact that you admit when you do speaking engagements where you're like, oh, I was so close to kind of qualifying. And that's just because they take the top four. If they decide to take the top three, you'd be even further from, I don't know, it's a lot of money to make to be a failure. Like, your whole thing is swimming. Your whole thing is swimming, and you didn't do it. Like, you swam, like you didn't drown, but like you. It just feels like that's what a lot of this stuff is, you know? It's a lot of an attachment to someone to blame for for something you were never going to get anyway. You know, like that's what a lot of it is. It's like sometimes I'll see people, even with the idea of like taking jobs, right? Oh, they're coming to this country, they're taking the jobs, and it's like, yeah, okay, they're taking the jobs. What do you do? Do you know what I mean? Like it's weird when it's like an assistant manager at like a Wendy's being like they're taking the jobs. It's like, yeah, but not this job. Like what's like some of the people that are so mad. I'm like, yes, but they are not in between you and the thing that you want. The person in between you and the thing that you want is the person who already has it. Is someone doing better than you? Is someone doing better than you that has it? So if you wanted a better job, the person that you should be mad at is the person that gives out the better jobs. The person who is willing to do any job is doing worse than you. It's weird to blame them when they don't affect you at all. Not like that. So then the person you should be mad at is the person who is keeping, and they planned it. They planned this whole thing. They made it so that you would blame this person because when you do, you're not looking up at who's holding up all the stuff over your head. You should be mad at them up here the way that you would get mad at like a tall person walking up to you as you're like trying so hard. You're trying to pinch as hard as you can, like just a better job, just more opportunity. And they're like, hey, you want some help? Do you feel like there's help? No. How are you going to get mad at somebody doing worse than you? No, they're not keeping you from anything. You know, it's like getting mad at the bottom shelf because you couldn't reach the top. I mean, it's like... It's like getting mad that you're in 5th place when you were never going to be first. I just can't get over that. Because I remember the first time I heard about Riley Gaines, I genuinely, what I thought happened was that she was second. And then a trans athlete came in first. And she was like, oh, you stole from me. You know what I mean? And then when I heard that they don't even make a type of medal for the position she came in, it goes gold, silver, bronze. I guess you could give 4th place like aluminum or something, and then you could give 5th place like wood, maybe. You got the wooden medal in swimming. You got the waterlogged medal in swimming. Yeah. No, I don't know, it blows my mind. It just feels like so much of what politics is based off of is that thing. You are keeping me from what I want. I want this. You are the reason that I'm not getting it. Not the politician. Not the person who like signs bills into law. There's just like this person over there, somehow more powerful than the person who had to be sworn in and get all these votes and have all this money and has donors and has people who call them that they better pick up the phone for. You know, that person not as powerful as random person from another country. You know, because it's not just about immigrants. It's everybody. It's every type of other, and it's every type of other until there is no other. Because then you'll see it sometimes happen. It does happen on like a final phase level to white women the most. Like hardcore conservative white women who are in the room helping make decisions and everything. There will eventually be a thing where, for whatever reason, you're around a bunch of other conservative men, and then they want you out of the room. There's only so many spots, and you can't take up a spot. You're not really one of us. You're an other. And you're like, no, but I'm not an other. It's like, you are. No, you are. You are. And you'll know it at like the worst time. It'll be like when you finally want something. You've done everything that you're supposed to do. You voted the right way. You said all the right things. You hold all the right beliefs. You do everything that you're told to do, from whether it's from a young age, you grew up in a conservative family, or you have these conservative values, and you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. You're doing everything towards the sort of life and country that you want, and then you finally want something, but maybe you want something that's a little bit out of your place to have. You know, maybe you want to step into a position that other people don't want to see you in, right? Maybe you want to be like a senator, and right now you're a House rep. And so then they tell you, no. I know you've campaigned for me. I know you've spent millions of your own money trying to help me. I know that you've had my back every step of the way. But like, no, come on. No. And maybe it's not because you're a woman. Maybe it's because you're out of your mind. But like, no. Just no. And do with that what you will. And then she's like, oh my God, you're in the Epstein files. No, I can't believe it. Oh my God. Phoenix, y'all been phenomenal. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.